It's 21 minutes past 9. It's John at BBC Radio Lancashire. Good morning. With me this morning is the astonishingly talented and very handsome Tim Cooke.
Boy, you're very kind, John. Good morning,
sir. It's Tim Cooke, who is one of the Northwest's finest rat catchers.
Indeed.
And a ukulele player.
And chimney sweep.
And chimney sweep, yes. You take all those little kids up the chimneys, don't you?
I certainly do.
You get them off the streets.
Yeah, no.
And say, up that chimney.
All the ones who's been on the naughty list this Christmas, they send them to me. When
yes.
Up they go.
So, and also you play with the Northwest top band, Jonkin Fettle. How has the rat catching been going, Tim? Because we haven't talked about the rat catching for ages.
We've not. And we've had a really, weather-wise, a good year for the rats, really.
Have we?
And well, apart from today, where it's really cold, it's been relatively mild this winter. So it helps
that's
the rats
good
to
for the
breed.
rat population, is it?
You know.
Because we went for a walk down the canal in Wigan a good few years ago
We did.
now, and we saw a good few big rats down there, because I guess that is a good place for rats to develop, isn't it?
Anything where there's a little bit of high bridge where not many predators can get hold of them and shake them to death.
Yes.
And if they can get deep underground, then they're protected from all the elements.
And this time of year, when there's a lot of food waste lying about, if you throw it out, I mean, could that attract waste?
Oh,
could
definitely.
that attract rats?
Yeah, I mean, with all the different councils now with tipping, and they've changed, now you've got to pay to tip. Fly tipping now is just a bigger problem than ever. So there's food waste going out all down these country lanes and back alleys, and the rats are just having a field day.
Is the rat population and the rat situation getting worse? Because you kind of think it is, but that's just from looking around and seeing the odd few rats around. I saw a few rats in Blackburn last week.
Yeah, I mean, like they say, you're never more than 6 feet away from a rat, but mainly they're under your feet in the sewer system.
Yeah.
So they're running around, and you think down there, there's food, there's water. You're thinking what they're eating down there.
Yeah.
But then through a broken drain or a gully, they come out onto the street. So there's burgers, kebabs, and all kinds of lovely...
What could be better?
Hey, I know.
What could be better?
Yeah.
And the rat business, the rat catching business, the rat killing business, is that going well for you, Tim?
It is. It's being self-employed now. Like I say, I was with Wigan Council for 20 years, and I took the plunge about 4 now and set up on my own. So, yeah. The phone keeps ringing with screams down the phone, and
I guess if you've got rats, and you call the rat catcher like yourself, I guess if you've got rats, you are pretty terrified, aren't you?
Well,
certainly some
most
people are.
They don't see the rats; they hear this in the walls or the loft, and when they go upstairs and they find the droppings, and next thing they phone you up. So my job, instead of just putting the poison down, I try and do a bit of investigatory work and see how they're actually going in. A lot of it's drainage. There's a fault on the drain. They come from the sewer system, up the cavity wall, into the house.
And they get into the house.
And they do. And then they can start chewing your wires. They can chew your plumbing. Plus, they can defecate all over your kitchen worktops.
How lovely.
And,
I had a couple of mice before Christmas, and that's okay. You can deal with mice, but if you've got rats, you kind of think, oh, no.
Yeah. It's a bit of a rum setup here, really, with rats and mice at this time of year, because they can have 6 to 8 in a litter.
Yes.
And then every 6 weeks, they're having another litter. Yeah. So they say rabbits are bad for breeding, but rats, give them a fair run for the money as
Absolutely. Look, you are here to look at the papers. We'll talk about the papers in a second.
Okay.
How's the band going?
The band's doing all right. We're on a little bit of a hiatus at the moment because Les, my mate, is just come from a slight stroke.
That is not good.
It's not good.
Because I don't know if many of the audience know, but I had a stroke a year ago, just before Christmas last year, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying, and a lot of us get over it, and you wouldn't tell I had a stroke a year ago, would you?
John, you're fighting fit.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
But he's doing all right. He's getting plenty of physio, and I'm going around giving him grief every other day. And,
that's good. You may keep a few tingles for a bit, but as long as you're alive, that's the important thing.
That's the main thing.
What's happening in the papers, Tim?
Right then, well, obviously it's doom and gloom on the celebrity death front.
It's been a rubbish year, and it's been a particularly rubbish week, hasn't it?
I mean, from Christmas Eve with Rick Parfit, George Michael, Christmas Day, Liz Smith, Boxing Day, And then yesterday, lo and behold, Carrie Fisher and Richard Adams, is it, from the Watership?
That is an amazing run of 4 days. You know, people are saying the year is cursed.
Yeah.
And you think, no, that's nonsense. But then after that's 4 days, you start thinking, goodness me, you know, who else before the end of the year?
Well, I know there's another week to go, isn't there, really? I mean, you're born, you live, you die. It's a natural progression. And we're always going on about celebrities. I know there's ordinary folk like me who's probably lost somebody over Christmas, and we do send our sympathies out there. But, I mean, the Daily Express have got like an iconic double list spread here now. And it goes back to the first person was Robert Stigwood, who was the music impresario behind the Bee Gees and Grease the musical.
Records, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then it just goes on. Christy O'Connor Jr., Ed Stewart, then David Bowie was the first big name. And then 4 days later, Alan Rickman. Yeah. And that was just in January. And then it just gone. Glenn Fry, the Eagles. He was January. And then, like I say, it just goes straight across the list. So, yeah, a really bad year for our beloved celebrities.
And a bit later on today, we're running a special on Victoria Wood at 6 o'clock tonight. Victoria Wood has not seen on TV her appearances on the radio. And I was saying this morning that Victoria Wood kind of touched us all, well, certainly me, in really extraordinary ways, because you keep finding yourself using lines that Victoria Wood said because they were so funny, so clever.
Yeah. But not just the presence of Victoria Wood. Like you say, it's the writing.
Yeah.
But what she did, the gift was, she gave the other actors the best material.
Yes.
And she kept everything back, but just being Victoria Wood, it just worked. You think it's brilliant.
She was only 62.
Well, the shocker with herself and David Bowie, you didn't know they were ill.
Yeah.
The dignity they kept, the illness to themselves. So if you sort of know somebody's ill, you expect it. But with Victoria Wood and David Bowie...
Yeah. And in some respects, David Bowie was a bit older, but George Michael was 53. He was younger than me.
I know.
That's crazy. Look, we'll talk more papers in a bit. It's John at BBC Radio Lancashire. Tim Cooke is with me. Yeah. We're taking a look at the day's papers. What else have you found, Tim?
We are, and we're in the Sun now, and we're sticking with Christmas, and it's the £200 million in Duft gift returns, and they're calling it Take Back Tuesday. A mountain of unwanted Christmas gifts were returned to shops on Bank Holiday yesterday, dubbed Take Back Tuesday, which is why I always give gift vouchers.
Is that right?
Oh, cash. You know, you ask, and my nephews now, they're into the games and stuff like that, so you give them some cash or a card. But I think it just gets harder each year. I mean, when you get older, you tend to have everything that you need, don't you? Really?
I know. This is absolutely it. And the problem I have is buying stuff for my sister's grandkids, because I don't know what 4 and 5 and 10-year-olds want. You know, I've got no idea. I do my best.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know...
Is Thomas the Tank still popular?
I don't. Maybe not with 12-year-olds. I don't know. I've got no idea. You know, did you get everything you wanted this year, Tim?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it goes down the booze line for me, really. You know, you can't go wrong with that. So I mean, that lasts me now a couple of weeks. No, it'll last me a couple of months, sort of a thing. So
I did see that one of the major burger companies in the country, we won't name them, one of the major burger companies in London at Leicester Square, if you had an unwanted Christmas present, you could take it to this major burger company and swap it for a burger.
Okay.
You know, that's all well and good. You know, say, I don't want my smartphone, and I'll swap it for a burger.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
I would imagine if you're going to swap an unwanted Christmas present for a burger, it's not going to be a very big one, is it? It's not going to be a very big Christmas present.
I thought so. I think you might get 12 months of free burgers for an iPhone, though, something of that equivalent.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. See, my wife said, we need a new Hoover. So we got a Hoover and I put a bow around it. I said, there you go.
That's a great Christmas present.
Yeah, I don't think she was too impressed, though, really. You know, because it was in the main present.
I know one year I bought my other half a deep fat fryer. You know, that's, you know.
It's practical
because
presents.
we both got something out of that.
Exactly. So.
You know. Anything else in the papers this morning before we take a quick song?
Yeah, well, this is the Daily Mail and something a bit closer to home. It's 6 hit by food poisoning from trendy raw milk. And it's something called From Moo to You. I've not heard of this, really.
Raw milk is actually, Tim, becoming really popular. There's a farm, a Gibraltar farm, Good Morning Gibraltar Farm, which is up near Carnforth.
Right.
And I was up there a few months back, probably 6 months back now, and I was talking to the people who run the farm. Lovely people. Lovely farm, lovely people. And they're selling raw milk through a machine there.
Yeah.
And I know that Sizer Barn, which is just on the Cumbrian border, they are selling raw milk at Low Sizer Barn. And lots of people are selling it. You know,
Well,
and I must say that it tends to be going quite well.
Well, there's a lot of things for treated milk. And they said the additives and chemicals in that, what they don't really put on the bottle. So, you know, I think you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. But, yes, this trendy raw milk now, 6 people have been hit by food poisoning over the festive thing. See, I'd not been aware of anything like this, but it does seem to be... it's like the untreated water and stuff like that. It's probably from there. So I think you just got to be a little bit
guess
careful.
it depends how it goes from the cow to you, from moo to you.
From moo to you, yeah, exactly.
But certainly the people I've spoken to, certainly up around the north of the county, who've been using raw milk, say it's fantastic. And I am not a milk drinker. Milk disagrees with me.
Right.
So I can't try it. But I'm told from those who do, including my other half, that it's very, very nice.
Well, there's goat's milk, you know, people go off for that. And now the soya milk as well, you know, I think if anyone's got any dietary problems, the soya milk or almond milk.
Or coconut milk.
Coconut, well, my mate Les here, he likes his coconut milk. And
But you've got to get so many coconuts to get a pint, haven't you?
Well, it's it can be a busy morning.
Yes, indeed.
Scraping it all out.
It's BBC Radio Lancashire. Tim Cooke is with us with the papers. We'll do a bit more of those before we get to 10 o'clock this morning. It is Wednesday, December the 28th on BBC Radio Lancashire. Coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, Glenn Hunt. Glenn Hunt is through the studio. Glenn Hunt has recently grown a beard. Clearly, he's trying to look like me. Tim, look out there. Look, beard. You know.
Oh, yeah, it's very...
He used to be clean-shaven.
You're a trendsetter, John.
Absolutely. Tim Cooke is here with the papers. Tim, I just caught a sight of myself in the mirror, and I think I'm looking a bit like a hobo. The hair, the eyebrows, you know, the beard. I think I need to go to the barber's very soon.
Well, I don't know, because I think it seems to be turning, like you say, your next presenter, you know, he's facing the old...
I know, but I think his beard's a bit tidier than mine at the moment. I think I'm looking like a hobo, looking like somebody you'd meet, you know, sort of, you know, if I was walking down the street, someone would give me 10 quid, you know, that's, you know, get yourself sorted out.
There you go, free lunch.
I think I need to get myself sorted. Now, what else is in the papers this morning?
Well, we're still on the Christmas theme here, and I think we're all guilty, really, of settling down in front of the goggle box. Chocolates, booze and whatever. And this is no different for a 5-year-old Bubba.
A Bubba?
Bubba. Bubba's a dog, and sneaked into the kitchen on Christmas Eve and tucked into a large piece of turkey. Basically, it was the full turkey. And it's demolished the lot.
There is a picture, isn't there?
There is.
Of this dog lying down, and it does look like it's been stuffed.
It's they took a picture of this, and it's just a barrel, and they posted it on Twitter, and it's been retweeted more than 10,000 times. And they said there was just a little big piece of turkey left on the floor.
The thing is it actually possible? You know, because it. And yesterday, I got to the point last night where I realised I'd eaten far too much.
You have a cut-off point, don't you, basically?
You are, and I'm not sure your belly can become that big just eating a whole turkey, because is it physically possible?
I don't know, but dogs being dogs, I think they just tend to wolf it down, don't they, really?
Yes. And then think twice.
Well, I think this lad's going to have a few bowel problems over the next week or so, so... Yeah, a few pooper scoopers required in that house also. Good old Bubba,
yes,
who's demolished the...
Last night, I didn't mention earlier, in one of the supermarkets, he's doing a very posh Christmas pudding that has an orange at the centre.
All right.
Surrounded by Christmas pudding, a candied orange. And it's a very big Christmas pudding. And normally with these things, it says serves 6, and I was thinking, well, it serves 1, doesn't it? It serves 1 or maybe 2, but this thing was enormous, and by 10 o'clock last night, when I really should have been in bed coming into work this morning, I think I can't move. I literally can't move because that Christmas pudding was too big.
It's heavy
And
though.
too
Christmas
delicious.
pudding's heavy.
Yes, it is.
No, you need to wash it down with something. And
It is. Anything else in the papers, Tim?
yeah,
before we go?
how many more have we time for?
Oh, we can probably get a couple more in.
Well, there's one here, like like you said, with the rats and the weather. There was an issue here. This is in The Guardian, and it's saying rampant grass growth made life harder for the UK's wildlife in 2016, according to the National Trust. The National Trust
Was that because we had the right conditions for lots of
the
grass?
right conditions for grass, but it's the wrong conditions for the insects, basically, because the grass grows and the insects then can't get to what they should be eating. And it's not just the insects, because they're saying like the puffins were really struggling too. So when the puffins have the offspring, they're normally walking through shorter grass to get to, but they can't because it's been thick. So it's really tipped the ecosystem into a little bit of a... And they're just putting it down to a cold, wet spring followed by a mild and damp conditions in May, which led to an extraordinary growth in grass, which shot up a third faster than in previous years.
Do you know, I didn't notice that.
You know. So obviously in certain areas, I think if you're more rural, you're going to be... we're not going to notice it, but the poor wildlife are.
Yes.
So,
if you've got any puffins, then they are probably noticing that the grass is a bit too long.
Yeah, don't forget the fat balls. Feed your puffins, and we'll go out on a bit of a... Well, it's a tongue-in-cheek one. This one, it's a jailbreak in America. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've heard about this, John. They're calling it the Armitage Shanks Redemption. Or it's not a bog standard jailbreak, and basically 6 prisoners have removed the toilet from inside the cell.
It sounds like this involves a toilet.
It does, and behind it, the wall has been pretty hollow. So they've managed to get it and pull the toilet back into position. Anyway, they've managed to recapture 5, and one is still on the run. And it's
on the runs.
On the runs, exactly. Cooke County Jail in Tennessee, and. I reckon they give it another couple of years and there's another Hollywood movie in the making there.
I think there is.
You know.
Harrison Ford.
Definitely. You can just see him there.
Well, Tom Hanks. That's a Tom Hanks feature, isn't it? Harrison Ford is the governor of the jail.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks is the leader of the plucky band of criminals who decide to escape with the aid of a toilet. Tim Cooke, legendary Tim Cooke, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having us, John.
I will
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too. I will see you again very soon. Glenn Hunt is next. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock for breakfast.